Mark.
Thank you. Thank you, Subra. I think in this new world order, it's still good to have friends in Asia. So my fellow Singaporeans in the room, we've not only brought you the Singaporean weather, but hopefully we'll be bringing you Singaporean money. But more importantly, we've actually brought you the famous Asian Singaporean hospitality, Singapore Airlines. Right, my name is Mark Goh, and I am the Chief Operating Officer of a Lee Legacy Holdings. Lee Legacy Holdings is what we call in Singapore a single family office. A single family office is a company that is registered solely to manage the wealth and investments of one family. In this situation, my principal that I'm helping to manage is the Lee family, right? And our mission here is to support SMEs, principally through strategic investments in branding, system development, and leadership development. Now, why? Simple reason is that we believe that we can only achieve growth in the investments in these three key areas. So remind you again, which we'll be talking: brand, systems, and leadership. However, in the various interactions that we have had with thousands of SMEs, one of the main problems that we hear and we know of that prevents growth or causes stagnation is what we call the burnout loop. Now, what is the burnout loop? The burnout loop is a state of mind. It is a toxic state of mind. And this state of mind can be characterized in 4 characters, right? And I think some of you may be familiar with this. The first is time poverty. This is the feeling of short of time all of the time, right? And you're overworked. You have no time to plan for growth. The next is money poverty. This is when you're working and working, you're paying off all your debts, you're just barely scraping it. You make enough profits, but the profits are thin. There is not enough savings or reserves for future investments. So in the balance sheet, it is called retained earnings. You don't have enough retained earnings. The next is operational dependency. And I think a lot of business owners suffer this, right? They think that they are the only one that can solve the problem of the business. They do not delegate. They do not have leadership over the staff. They have high staff turnover. So what do? They run from pillar to post on a daily basis. Then they have to juggle that. They have to juggle that with their family concerns, right? And if you've got kids, you've got to attend to the kids. You've got to attend to your family. When you combine all that, you will eventually arrive at the 4th stage, which is mental and physical exhaustion. Now, let me share with you a real case. I've changed the name here, but this is Christopher's journey, right? Christopher is a hotel. He is still a hotel owner. I stayed in his hotel when I visited Alicante, Spain this year. And when I was there, I had a tete-a-tete with him. I managed to get him down in the evening to talk to him. And then he started telling me, when he found out I was an investor, everyone wanted, because I don't know why when I said investor, everyone wanted to talk to me.
I can't
I just can't imagine why. So he started telling me, he said, no, he's feeling burned out, right? And these are the 4 struggles. I can summarize it that he spoke to me about. He's working 16 hours a day, right? He's managing everything from bookings, guest relationships. He's doing the finance, he's doing the maintenance. Then he's telling me, look, yes, occupancy rates are good, revenue is good, but he's not making enough. He said he used to be working in a bank, and his salary in the bank was much better than some days. So it's a feast and famine for him. So there's an inefficient cost management, right? He struggles with operational dependency because he's got 2 kids, right? He's got no time for them. Right? He's in a hotel all the time. He feels chained to his hotel. At the end of the day, he says he's been doing this for 10 years. And for 10 years, he says he doesn't see an exit. He doesn't know how to get out. And he told me, he says, look, I'm not the only one. My friend, the baker, feels the same way. My friend, the florist, is suffering the same thing. And that got me thinking and said that that's true because I went through the same journey as well. And this is a very familiar journey with a lot of small businesses when they're starting out. So how can Christopher break the loop? I see a lot of confused and bemused face. Let me explain. What you see here is a red envelope, money envelope, that Chinese parents put money into for children, and then they give this as a gift on Chinese New Year to their children. So that's why the Chinese people, they're so good with money because they get introduced to money at infancy. Anyway, red in Chinese culture is auspicious, is an auspicious color, right? The pig, not many people know this, in Chinese culture symbolizes prosperity and abundance. So it's actually a very good animal, right? So this gift is like people give presents on Christmas, right? But don't go away with the wrong idea. I'm not here like Santa giving you free money. Instead, what we want to do is that we want to have our investment, and if we're gonna invest in you, we're gonna have something back. We have to have something back. And the something back is to cultivate a certain value and a certain conduct from our investees, right? So we think that in terms that a lot of investments fail because the leadership is not there. It's the human component. So what is the expectation? What's the value and what's the conduct that we're trying to get and the relationship that we're going to try and get? The first is the ability to recognize failings, things like the burnout loop, right? Inhibitors, things that are no good, right? After you have recognized that, you have to recognize that you can't do this alone. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a community to raise a child. There's no, I ran a sole proprietorship and I tell you, it is not possible. You can't scale, you can't grow. You need the help of others, experts like lawyers who are able to help you identify things like intellectual property rights. So trademarks, for instance, which we will be talking about in much more detail this morning. Intellectual property rights are intangible assets. And because they are intangible, they've got no value. It's in your head. The only way that you can eke out the value from intellectual property rights is to document them. You have to document them. You have to have a habit of documenting, identifying, being able to identify them, and then document them. You got to document your systems. You got to document your processes. Once you've done all that, the next thing that we need our investees to do is to have the courage to publicly tell people, this is my brand value. This is the brand experience that I'm going to deliver you, because that's a brand promise. If you dare to deliver this service, that's how you get your customers, right? So you need to also publicly tell and say, I'm going to stand by this brand because that's the leadership value. So that's the quality that my customers will get. Each time the customer interacts with my brand, I promise you, my staff, my people will deliver to you a product or a service to this quality. That is public, right? Now, there must be an alignment. There must be an alignment between the objective of the investor and also the business owner. Now, we will disclose to you that unlike other investors, we're going to tell you exactly what the investment objective is for us. For us, it's very simple. You got a product, you got a service, you got to build up the brand. We got to own the brand, we got to lead the brand, and then we got to basically expand it, and our exit is to franchise it. Because if we do not build, own, and lead it, there is no exit, there is no investment reason for us. We think that growth and leadership is synonymous. If there is no leadership and there's no value, if you don't value leadership skills, then there is no growth, because we know from our experience and statistics, failure rate becomes high because the leadership is poor. So there will be part of the investment program, right? Leadership checks, in which I think Lisa will be talking about. There will be a leadership program. So it's a continuing engagement to assure the investors that the leadership is there. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have watched Dragon's Den before, right? This show. Now, we're different. We're going to take a totally different approach from Dragon's Den. And I don't think Dragon's Den is the correct. I've been in this scene for 30 years and I disagree. I don't like how Hollywood portrays investors. The problem that I have with Dragon's Den is this. The investors sit as judges on a panel. And then the investees are given X amount of time to do their pitch. Right? That's not how it's done. In the real world, that's not how it is. Now, what we are seeking is a different kind of relationship. It's a relationship actually of collaboration. It's a more collaborative exercise. And the collaboration actually starts by having the investor telling you what my mandate is and telling you what my parameters are and what's my risk profile, so that you can then look at your pitch and your business to see whether there is alignment. So it is not correct for you to pitch to me and then I'm not disclosing to you what my mandate is. Right? So I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to tell you what my principal's mandate is. I'm going to tell you also what are the risk profiles my principal is principally concerned about, so that you fully understand, right, what kind of investments we will likely accept and what we won't. So you don't waste my time and I don't waste your time. Now, SMEs lobby their governments all the time for this thing known as business costs reduction. They complain all the time that the cost of doing business and compliance is high. So they want to reduce the cost of compliance. Now that's understandable and that's fine. But here's the twist, And the paradox is this: when you run a business and you've got no checks and you've got no regulation, because cost is low, cheap business, then from an investor's perspective, there is no visibility, there's no transparency, there's no accountability. So it makes the trust factor less likely. So there is a paradox. Very, very, very few business, very few SMEs, the ones that really grow, understand this, and they self-regulate and they voluntarily do the contrarian by actually being visible, by behaving like a public listed company. So how many SMEs would say, you know what, I'm going to actually spend more money. I know I don't have to do this. This is not what the law requires me to do, but I'm going to actually take the extra step, right? Get my accounts audited. How many would actually do that? Because there's no requirement in the law to do that. But the smart ones realize that that's the only way that you can actually improve your credit score with the investors. So being seen builds trust. Now, public profiling means equals visibility. Logical, visibility equals credibility. It's very logical. And that's why we work with GoSME, the platform, because what we want you to do is this, is that you have to showcase your brand. You have to showcase your business in this community platform. And I'll explain to you why the platform and why the community. You have to also signal, not only to me, because I'm not the only audience, but the rest of the wider SME ecosystem, your willingness to have serious capital, your willingness not only to me, but the wider SME community, to say that you are in here for the long haul. Your brand is real. You are not here to hustle, right? Now, I'm going to just take a while to quote this guy. I'm sure some of you would have heard Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus of Grameen Bank. He says it very well. Community lowers risk because people hold each other accountable, right? And this is the key for us, to give us assurance that you are a good investment. It's not making your pitch to me, just the investor, a private pitch. No. We want you to make your pitch to me and also to the rest of the people here, because everybody knows each other and you are accountable. Because if you make a mistake, everybody's going to know. Your reputation, you have skin in the game. In a way, you having skin in the game gives us confidence. Therefore, what is the process? The roadmap that we want, and which is different from other investors, is that go, simply profile your brand, profile your business. It's free on GoSME. Fill out the consult form. Once you fill out the consult form, we will reply to you, we will give you a checklist, we will tell you exactly what we are looking for, right? Prepare a customized pitch pack. Don't give me a standardized pitch pack or something that you've got and then you're going to give to investor A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm not interested in that, right? Don't waste my time. Just give me what I asked for. We will then assess your digital footprint, we'll assess your brand, assess your pitch deck, and that's it, right? It's very simple, no wasting of time. Lastly, I just want to say this: be your own regulator. Show us you're built to last, not just to hustle. Thank you.